Welcome back. It is the Flow Sports Hour on Flow FM. It's always a highlight to have an Olympic champion on the show, and that's exactly what we've got right now because Brooke Hanson, a dual medalist in the pool at the Athens 2004 Games, is on the line with me. Great to have you here, Brooke. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, as well as being an Olympic champion, you're now an AUSTSWIM ambassador. Can you tell us a bit about that role and how you got involved in it and why you feel so passionate about it?
Yeah, obviously now retired from swimming and raising three kids that absolutely love the water, and then jumped on board with AUSTSWIM probably almost 15 years ago now, and just wanted to really use my brand and my face to get more kids to learn how to swim, more adults to learn how to swim, and then just continue to remain committed that every single Aussie should have the opportunity to be safe in, on and around water. And yeah, it's been my passion ever since, and I'm so thrilled to be involved with it, and particularly this week where it's Swim Safer Week.
Fantastic, and I couldn't agree with you more about the importance of learning to swim because, of course, most of the Australian population lives on the coast near the beach or have a swimming pool in their backyard to deal with the sweltering summer temperatures. So even more so in Australia than a lot of other countries, it's extremely important. And a new report stating that 43% of families didn't have their children enrolled in lessons because they believed they were too young to learn to swim. Can you tell us why that's a bit of a scary statistic and why it is actually really important for young children to start learning how to swim in those really, really young age groups?
Yeah, that stat just blew me away as well. I just couldn't believe that parents weren't confident to put their child in to learn to swim lessons. And of course, we have AUSTSWIM teachers that teach kids as young as 6 months old. So you can get, I know I had my kids learning to swim at the age of 6 months old. They're only crawling then, but the skills that they can learn and just the confidence that they can get to learn to swim, and then more importantly, learn to save themselves if they are in a situation, whether they're at the beach, at the backyard pool, even if they're in the bath or the creek, the dam, the river. We're surrounded by so many different waterways, and it's important that all of our kids, our young kids, particularly those ones under 5, learn those simple skills that can help save their own life if they do get into trouble.
Absolutely, and it's very easy to get into trouble, of course, if you're at a party. It's pretty easy for a 5-year-old to fall in a pool, and if they haven't learned how to swim, that can obviously spell disaster. And it's almost confronting seeing really young kids learn how to swim, especially that 6-month age group, like you mentioned, because they really just toss them in the water, don't they? And it really is a survival tactic of sort of sink or swim, and of course people are there to guide them. But yeah, it is quite confronting seeing that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's why parents have been put off as well, or they're waiting for their child to actually get to the age of 5 or 6 until they're, going to school to learn how to swim. But we're really saying get them in as early as possible, get them in at 6 months old. You can get involved with those, the mums and dads and bubs classes where you're in the water with them to start with, and then eventually they're going to get to a point where they're going to be able to roll on their back, they're going to be able to take a breath, they can put their arm up and say they're in trouble, or even get over to the water's edge themselves. And I really want no drownings this summer. It breaks my heart when you turn on the news, you listen to the radio and you're like, oh no, we've lost another child. And we lost 281 people last year in different Australian waterways and 16 children that were under the age of 4. And I would really love to see it this summer that we had no drownings, particularly in those backyard pools where we saw 25% of drownings happen in a backyard pool. And it's just frightening stats where if we can just get all of our kids to learn to swim and get them into those lessons, it would definitely be a game changer.
That is a really confronting stat because obviously swimming is something that is quite easy to learn and does come quite naturally once you do learn how to do it. It's like riding a bike, you never forget. So that is really scary to hear that, and hopefully people take the message on board to get their kids learning to swim, or not even just their kids, adults as well. Are there a lot of adults enrolling in adult swimming lessons?
Yes, we've seen a huge uptake of adults, of course, adults that have just finally called this beautiful country home, and other adults that just never learnt to swim or put more emphasis on their kids learning to swim, but they never learnt themselves. So we have adult classes happening throughout the country as well, with teachers teaching kids as young as 6 months old all the way up to adults, some of them even in their 90s, that are learning to swim. And for me, I was given that opportunity to learn to swim at the age of 1 when I almost drowned twice in a backyard pool, and Mum and Dad had to put me into those swimming lessons because I was already a fish. I wanted to be in the water. I was a water baby that just loved the water so much. And so for me, I was just so blessed that Mum and Dad put me into those swimming lessons. I learned a skill for life, and it's so important that we can continue to get our kids in to learn to swim. And it's great that AUSTSWIM has also lowered that age. So if you've got a teenager around the house this summer that looks at maybe taking up a job, get them to do their AUSTSWIM qualified course and get them to be a swim teacher. I know that I can't wait until my eldest is 14, and we've just lowered the age to 15, so he's got a year to go until he can start teaching kids to swim.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear that you're pushing your kids in that direction. It's a really good direction to go, and it's great to hear that so many adults are enrolling because, yeah, like I said, in Australia, you sort of think swimming comes naturally to a lot of us because a lot of people grow up on the coast or having a pool in their backyard or their best mate's backyard. But yeah, of course, we have a lot of refugees seeking refuge here who haven't had that same luxury growing up, and a lot of people who live in the country as well who just aren't near waterways and don't get the chance. And it is extra vital living in the country because a lot of kids living on farms, and obviously most of Australia live near the coast, but not everybody. So some of those kids living on farms, they just don't get the chance when they're young, and they maybe don't have access as well. Do you know much about how problematic that is out in the country where there's not really access to as many swimming pools, especially in some really smaller inland country towns?
Yeah, that's right. Of course, we're so big in Australia and so vast with our beautiful country. So those regional and rural communities sometimes miss out on those really important skills like learning to swim, or they don't, they have to sometimes travel up to 500 kilometres to actually go to their local pool, and that makes things difficult. But what we're saying even with those communities is that throughout the Christmas holidays, throughout summer, so many of those centres are actually providing the intensive swimming lessons where you may leave the farm for those couple of days and put the kids into the intensive swimming lessons. And with the cost of living, we've also said it would be great to get the aunties, the uncles, the grandchildren involved in putting a Christmas present together for the young kids to say, hey, I'm giving you an experience this year. Let's go and do some intensive swimming lessons at one of the local pools. So I think that's really important, particularly in our regional and rural areas. I had some cousins that would do that every single summer holidays. Their parents were nowhere near a swimming pool, but took a couple of days during those holidays to drive to a centre and make sure that they could learn a skill for life by learning to swim, knowing that they did have dams on their property, and with those skills they were able to continue to be in the bore and hop in the dams and help out on the farm. And their parents made them, I guess, I gave their parents the confidence to know that their kids could save themselves if there was a problem on the farm.
Yeah, fantastic gift idea, especially, of course, we're coming up to Christmas. We're only just over a month away, and that is, a really, really good gift idea, something a little bit different. And you mentioned the cost of living pressures, and, of course, swimming lessons might be something that's pretty quick to go out the window. It shouldn't be, but no doubt there would be a lot of parents out there who just say, sorry, we can't afford this. We've got to put food on the table and all sorts of other things. I'm sure the cost of living is impacting children's access to swimming lessons.
Yeah, that's been difficult across our whole country, is that, everyone's had to tighten their belt and really just think about what are those essentials that I can provide for my children. But I guess on the flip side, we have seen some of the other parents going, do you know what, it is expensive, or even the price has gone up a little bit, but I still find it really important. So other parents just going without sometimes the takeaway coffee or the streaming services or some of the beauty treatments, or if not, just saying, don't buy my son a present this year to the grandparents. Can you pay for a term's worth of swimming lessons? And I think that's really important as well. We know that our kids, I know my kids are definitely spoilt with, so many materialistic objects. So that experience has been great for them. And yeah, for me, I just love seeing the look on my kids' faces, the smile that they have when they hop into their swimming lessons, and then knowing that every summer we'll be off caravanning and camping, and, you know, we'll be at different waterways, whether we're fishing at the creek or we're surfing at the beach. And I just love it that it's giving them the confidence to be safe in the water. And also if they're out boating with my brother, that I know that they're going to be safe. If something happens to them, they know what to do when they're in trouble.
And Brooke, obviously you would know a thing or two about perfect technique in the pool, but swimming lessons, you don't have to be learning perfect freestyle technique and learning how to do all the strokes that we see at the Olympics. It's as simple as being comfortable and competent in keeping yourself safe in a swimming pool or at the beach, isn't it?
Oh, totally. And that's what we want for every child. And everyone asks me, are you teaching your kids to learn to swim? And I'm like, no, I just love doing the homework with them. So they go and do their swimming lessons, and my older one doing squad lessons, but it's not about them or me wanting them to be future Olympic champions. I just want them to be safe in, on and around the water. And then for me, I just want to enjoy what I call the homework. So fortunate that I've got a backyard pool at our house, and I just want to go home throughout the summer and enjoy being in the water with my kids, whether that's a handstand competition or, floating on our back, or who can do, somersaults in the water, and, playing maybe some ball games and water polo games, and, getting up to just the fun stuff in the pool. So for me, I love doing what I call the homework, and the homework is where you get the enjoyment, you get the confidence, and you want to get back in the water again. It's not just about learning to swim, it's about those skills for life that my kids and all kids around Australia will have forever. And I really believe it's great for their overall well-being, also their mental health.
And for you now, getting in the pool and splashing around with your kids and helping people learn how to swim, that's probably a pretty refreshing change of pace from getting up at the crack of dawn and training 14 times a week and trying to stay in Olympic shape.
Yeah, definitely. I don't miss the 4 a.m. start for myself, although I am taking my 14-year-old to the pool at that time now. But it took a lot of grit, determination, sacrifice to be an Olympic champion. So for me now, it's great to take a step back and then just to enjoy the water. And you'll still find me swimming at the pool or at the beach a couple times a week, because I enjoy it for my own mental health. I enjoy it for the way it makes my body feel. And for me, I'm raising fourth generation surf lifesavers. So we've moved to the Gold Coast now, and it's great to see that my kids are also involved in surf lifesaving in the surf club, and we'll be patrolling the beach together on Christmas Day. My eldest Cooper's just done his surf rescue certificate, and along with my husband and myself, my parents will be patrolling the beach and volunteering our time to make sure that we keep the beach safe this summer. And I think that's really important as well, as we've all learnt to swim, but we're also using those swim skills to give back to the community and give back to an organisation like swimming and like surf lifesaving that we love and enjoy. And it definitely makes us feel great about keeping the community safe, but all of us love being in the water.
Well, it sounds like a very fulfilling way to spend your Christmas, very different from most, and a very good way to give back on a day when a lot of people aren't really thinking about giving back. They're more thinking about spending time with their families and having a good Christmas for themselves. So it's really good to hear that. Do you ever miss the competitive nature of swimming and trying to get at that top level? Because I suppose in a sport like swimming, I mean, it's different from something like basketball, which is my favourite sport. If I'm finished playing competitive basketball now, but I can go around and shoot hoops or play in a social basketball game really any time. But I suppose once you finish up competitive swimming, you're not going for social competitions. It's really just something that you almost let go of and just have fun in the pool from here on out. So, yeah, do you ever miss that competitive aspect of it?
I think I decided once I retired, I was like, there's no room for a comeback, and I just wanted to leave my Olympic career the way that I did. And I just thought, you know what, it's just time to be a free butterfly, and that's how I felt. I'm like, to be an elite athlete, to represent Australia over 25 times at major international events, to wear the green and gold for Australia. I was so proud to do it, but you really have to be so determined, so focused, and really nothing else matters. And I found being in that elite realm, I was just thinking about what I could do, how many personal bests I could get, how many medals I could win for my country, and, what food I was putting into my body. Was I doing enough recovery? Had I had massage and physio, like you said, the 14 sessions a week, and it really took over. And so when I retired from swimming, it was time to focus on what I could do to fulfill, I guess, myself with my own purpose and passion beyond the black line. And people ask me all the time, do you miss it? Do you miss the competitive side? And I say I don't, but I don't miss that at all. But what I really love is that I've been able to connect with the water in a completely different way, and that's been enjoying the water with my kids, enjoying the water, just swimming laps at the local pool, and not having to be that, I guess, that person that was just so driven to achieve Olympic greatness. And yeah, I don't mind it now. I love just having fun, and even at the local surf life saving carnivals, or being involved at all with my teammates at surf club. I just love still catching a wave and enjoying myself, and I'm still socially connected in a sporty way, which I really enjoy.
That's fantastic. It's great to hear that you've sort of moved on from that and moved into a different area of teaching kids to swim and being an ambassador for AUSTSWIM and surf lifesaving and all those really important avenues. Do you still enjoy watching swimming and at the Olympics and the World Champs? I'm sure you do, because it's a fantastic crop of swimmers that we've got at the moment, and we have such a great history of swimmers in this country. And yeah, it's a really great age of Australian swimming right now.
I'm absolutely loving mentoring some of the Olympians and future Olympians coming through, and it is a great age. And I was part of a fantastic era back in the early 2000s, and it's great to see it come around again, and I'm looking forward to watching the athletes in Paris, and really just again cheering them on like the rest of the country, and seeing so many of them try and defend their titles, in Zach Stubby-Cook, in Emma McKeon, and of course Ariane Titmus, where the pressure is on for them, and they see that pressure as a privilege. They want to go to Paris, and they want to, of course, go one better and maintain their winning victories of being Olympic champions. And I know there'll be newcomers as well that will come up. We've seen Molly O'Callaghan, Brisbane, Queensland girl that's achieved so much greatness, along with Kaylee McEwen over the last couple of years. So there's just so many great Olympians to look out for, and I'm always their biggest supporter.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see how we go in the pool at Paris. There's going to be a lot of medals. I'm very sure of that. And Molly O'Callaghan, she had an unbelievable swim in the World Champs earlier in the year, and she's one I'm very, very excited to see in Paris. Brooke, before you go, what advice do you have for Aussie parents who haven't enrolled their child in swimming lessons, and where would you direct Australians to go to find out more about AUSTSWIM and about teaching their kids to swim, and the importance of getting children under 5 in the pool and learning to swim from a young age?
Yeah, we just really want parents to just take that accountability. We would love to see every single child under the age of 5 to learn to swim. And if you want to get involved, there's over 1,000 swim schools participating in Swim Safer Week. So you can look up your local swim school, and we've got so many swim schools participating, and really taking some of that pressure off the cost of living as well. So we've also got a great movement called Swim It Forward, and it's an initiative that's raising over $100,000 every year, and it's helping disadvantaged Australian families enroll in swimming. So if you want to check out more, definitely check out the website swimsafer.org.au, and if you're keen to become a swim teacher yourself, make sure you get onto austswim.com.au, or even enroll your teenage son or daughter. It'd be great to get some more teachers to teach our young kids the gift of life. And it really is that gift of life at AUSTSWIM. Our teachers educate today for a safer tomorrow, and I'm just so proud to be the ambassador.
Brooke, thank you so much for your time today. It's been great having you on the show, and I do hope we get to chat again sometime, because you've been a fantastic guest. All the best with everything you're doing with AUSTSWIM, and yes, hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Thank you. Look forward to talking all things Olympics.